opportunity today, the second time around, where we will decide our future course. Our future course, we think, is in acquiring the amenities and putting them under member control. And the good news is that being a couple of years later, it's good bad news really, but the real estate market has not improved, as most of you know, and so we will be buying at or very close to the bottom of the market. Like many other things in life, this could be the bit better the second time around. Excuse me. Let me give you a little bit of background. Albemarle Plantation Holdings is a developer. It is common for developers to subsidize or underwrite the cost and operate, both in the construction and operation of amenities, particularly at the beginning of a development, when you haven't sold many lots, there's not many residents, not many property owners. You have to, something has to keep those amenities up and operating. To the great credit of the plantation, most of the amenities were in place when all of us bought. It's a little bit unusual. And the developer, following standard development practice, continued to subsidize those through the early days. I think it's not hard for any of us to visualize that at some point developer subsidies have to go away. They're not a right that goes on in perpetuity with the ownership of your lot. They just don't go on forever. Typically, developers get in, they do their development. Within 7 years, they've gone on to the next one, and now everything's up to member control. We've been in operation since 94, 95, or something like that, and we're only just reaching the position where we can member control. So, in many respects, this is a much more mature development than many that transition to membership control. Beginning to remind myself of why I hate microphones. So, some time ago, Albemarle Plantation Holdings realized, it wasn't hard to see, their checkbook was telling them every couple of weeks that the amenities needed some guidance, some strategic planning, some improvement in their cash flow. They enlisted the aid of the members of the Property Owners Association, past and present, and to form a sort of a steering committee, or they called it a strategic planning committee, to help them move forward. As that committee began to do its work, and I should say that APH made available every accounting number that we ever needed in that process. We had full access to the books of Albemarle Plantation Holdings. It became apparent to several of us that the future of APH's development for AP was perhaps at some risk. And so we asked to expand the group, and they agreed, and that's why you see a few more people here than just property owner board members today. And we worked under a confidentiality agreement with APH. That's why most of you haven't heard a lot about this prior to this week. But our goal was initially to bring the amenities without sacrificing quality into a more cost-effective and more self-sustaining mode. Along the way, as I say, we realized that there was some risk to the Plantation Property Association and its funds. And so we sought legal advice, and the POA board, which even though we have 3 resident members on that board, it is and was at that time still under the control of APH, because they had 4 votes to 3. Nonetheless, the POA board hired the law firm of Ragsdale Liggett. They have extensive experience in real estate and community management issues, and they were hired to advise the 3 resident members of the board. I should stress they are advising the resident members of the board, not the entire board. They didn't work for APH, they worked for us. They were paid by the APPOA funds as would seem appropriate. But they were strictly working for Tom Teklo, Jack Wheeler, Dave Goss, and myself. In the course of that, their study, their research, and their advice to us, they had full access to APH's lawyers. They had many consultations with APH lawyers. They had full access to APH legal documents in terms of deeds of trust and other contractual documents. And they had the full support of APH, anything they wanted. They only had to